Hello and all, welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one we're talking Khabib Nurmagomedov, arguably greatest of all time. Specifically, we're going to talk about one of his former opponents' recent comments on Khabib. That's Michael Johnson. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Michael Johnson, in recent interview, claims that when he fought Khabib Nurmagomedov, the guy felt like a middleweight. And that's a very, very interesting statement from Michael Johnson. Obviously, Daniel Cormier talked about these guys. And when I say these guys, I mean the Dagestanis that train at AKA and were former teammates. Well, let me rephrase that. Where DC is a former teammate of these guys, given these guys still train at AKA, well, Islam does, and obviously Khabib is a trainer and still trains with those guys. And I remember on many occasions Daniel Cormier said that, you know, he'd be wrestling with these guys, and I remember the very last time he talked about it was about Islam Makhachev, and I do digress a bit, but whether we're talking about Islam or Khabib, we all know which one's the better wrestler and the more dominant. Obviously, we're talking about Khabib, but when Daniel Cormier talked about the very last instance, he talked about wrestling with Islam Makhachev, says that usually with a heavyweight, or whether it be light heavyweight or heavyweight, DC fought both divisions, usually probably weighs in around heavyweight. And he says when he usually wrestles with lightweights, it would be easy for him to toss a lightweight aside, basically. But with Islam, the guy just doesn't go away, you know, and a lightweight has no business wrestling a heavyweight, let alone a Olympian heavyweight, Olympic champion, right? So that says a lot, you know, coming from a guy on the same level as DC in terms of wrestling. And here you have Michael Johnson recalling his time in the octagon against Khabib Nurmagomedov. He says the guy feels like a middleweight, and it kind of raises a question for me, like, what if Khabib decided to go to welterweight? What was the landscape of the welterweight during that time? I believe Kamaru Usman was the champion at that time. Maybe he wouldn't have fought Usman. How would he have done against the Usman? So many questions. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Khabib retired at 32. Comfortably, this guy would have been able to fight 4 more years, conquered, I believe, 2 other divisions. So would Khabib been able to conquer the welterweight and the middleweight division in the UFC since he's that good? To be honest, I believe that if his late great father was around and he had the drive and his mother didn't have a problem with him fighting, I think that would have been a very feasible scenario, in all honesty. Because you hear these guys say these things and it's like, okay, wouldn't that be implemented in real life as well? Personally, I have no doubt. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know in the comments and like, subscribe for more.